Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600 plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.
Ramsey Show ending. After show beginning, putting my links into the chat. And we'll get going here. What up, AJ? AJ, don't try to enjoy that. Do or do not. There is no try. Oh, you said you hope to. Yeah, I mean, you know, you concentrate on the kid, not the anything else that's going on there. Because how many pre-K graduations is she gonna have? Not that many, probably. So you just focus on her and the other stuff that's boring. Don't worry about it. Craftsman, what up? Let's see what we got. Show number 281 today in a replay. Hopefully only one. That's right, AJ. That's right. That was my point that I was making. Alrighty, everybody ready to sing? This computer does not like the amount of windows I have open. Or tabs, rather. Oh, AJ's taking his parents and in-laws out for dinner afterwards. Excellent. Oh, meaning you're paying for it? Yeah, it's fun to be the parent. It's fun to be a grown-up and do that, definitely. Absolutely. Now listen for the drum taps. Like all plans, it starts with step 1. $1,000 emergency fund. Step 2, you'll pay off all your debt. Step mortgage, we do not do that yet. So pay off your consumer debt. Every one of those charges, from smallest to largest. Baby step 3 is next. Full emergency fund of expenses. You stay gazelle intensive. His name is Dave Ramsey, and this is his plan. And I hope to meet him. I admire the man. I've messed up in my life, but these steps have made it right. That's why I go, that's why I coach, and why I host this after show. If you don't like the way it's working out, you should do the baby steps. And if you want to have that financial peace, then you should do Dave's baby steps. Now step 4 is when you can take a breath and go less gazelle and invest. Step 5 is to save for your kids. No student loans at all for college. 6 is to pay off your home. Step 7, build your wealth and don't keep it all yourself. And you've lived like nobody else. Now you get to live large, and now you get to give large. His name is Dave Ramsey, and this is his plan. And I hope to meet him. I admire the man. I've messed up in my life, but these steps have made it right. That's why I go, that's why I coach, and why I host this YouTube show. If you don't like the way it's working out, You should do the baby steps. And if you want to have that financial peace, then you should do Dave's baby steps. Trumpets, you should take it home. Do 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 do. Live from Columbus, OH. It's the Ramsey Show Aftershow show. Here we talk about the Ramsey Show YouTube chat, and the people in it, and all things financial, and whatever else I want to talk about. I'm your host, Coach Steve Money. I'm a certified Ramsey Solutions financial coach. You can schedule a free consultation assessment at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. The link's at the top of the chat and in the video description below. You can email me about anything, yes, anything, at Coach Steve Money. You can also reach me on Instagram, add me on the gram, and that is Coach Steve Money, no spaces. If you'd like to donate to the channel so I can make it better, that's paypal.me/Coach Steve Money. All right, let's see what we got going on in the chat, if anything. Up, Sid. Sid going to the commute home. Oh, but she's here via mobile. Appreciate it muchly. Then you have a run. That's cool. I'm going to hit the gym when I get home as well. Good idea. What am I, Daniels? Boom, boom, boom. That's right. AJ Kelly does not like when people tell her to drive safely. Because maybe she wants to drive recklessly. We don't know. Alrighty. Today's Ramsey Show was a replay because the guys are all in, and gals are all in the Florida, visiting the mouse, and for an event tonight. And there's also Entree Leadership starting Sunday. And so we may be stuck with replays until then, but I don't think, I would imagine George is involved, but I didn't see him on the Entree Leadership Summit list. So I can't imagine there would be enough people to do a show. Maybe not. I know King Coleman is going to be there, and John Deloney. So we could be in replays until after that is over on Wednesday. But on today's replay, it's from maybe 6 weeks, 2 months ago, something like that. I remember the show because of a financial coach that called and couldn't figure out. I mean, granted, a bunch of us are like that, where if it's our own situation, we can't think clearly about it. But if it was like a friend's situation instead, you could easily say, oh yeah, logically you should do this. But because it's your own situation, too close to it. And so, but he was kind of weird. He was like giggling a lot and stuff. Could have been nervous, but it just seemed to me like, I believe Dave asked him what he does, and he said he is chilling, and that he says he's a financial coach for Dave Ramsey. And of course that's incorrect. You would have to be working at Ramsey HQ in Franklin, Tennessee in order to be working for Dave Ramsey. He may have been a trained financial coach such as myself, but we don't work for Dave Ramsey, but that could have been just a semantics problem. But that just sounded weird, and about that time Dave muted him anyway. But yeah, it sounded like a motivation problem happening, and again, he should have been able to figure out that was a simple problem. So don't know what the dealio on that was. But anyway, Dave was the host in the big chair, and the co-host, once again, was friend of the Aftershow, author of Redefining Anxiety and Own Your Past, Change Your Future, host of the John Deloney Show, Dr. D. Ooh, we call him Dr. D, as you can see, but his parents named him John Deloney. Ooh, he's got 2 PhDs, 2 more than me. Plus, he's got some other certs. John Deloney, never gonna stop. Gives advice, such a brilliant mind, he always sorts it out. Has the craft of the healing kind. John, woo! John Deloney. Oh, he takes a call and then throws his pen, and he saves the day again. John Deloney. Oh, the dude has got some range. Season of change is what you're going there, says John Deloney. Never gonna stop. Gives advice, such a brilliant mind, he always sorts it out. Has the clout of the healing kind. John, woo! John Deloney. They put this break in here because they knew I would need a drink break. Ooh, I said a brilliant mind, anxiety redefined, and put in a quick read by John Deloney. Wealth and illness has to face, they didn't place, but they probably still had fun with John Deloney. Never gonna stop, gives advice, such a brilliant mind, he always sorts it out. Has the clout of the healing kind. John, woo! John Deloney. John Deloney. John Deloney. John Deloney. John Deloney. Market report. Okay, not a crazy down day. If this was last November, we wouldn't think anything about this, but it's just more down, so a little bit more on sale. Except for that small cap index, which is just barely up, as you can see, 0.078%, which equates to $1.38 out of 1,776.22 cents. And so that's how that works. That's the dollar amount. That's the price per share, and that's the percentage. So, and volatility index down just a little bit. Let's see. The Nasdaq the least down. I don't know if that will be enough to save me on fantasy mutual funds. Troy Story, of course, had no problem winning today with his boomer funds, or winning for yesterday's because of the big losses for everything. And so when the market's down, he is the least down. So he's got some good funds for riding this storm out, but when it's nice, he's not so lucky. So let's Let's see, what else we're going to talk about with this. From CNN.com, worst may not be over for the market. Stocks fall again. Bad earnings from Target and the Walmart yesterday. I don't know that they have anything here except just guessing and talking about different things like meme stocks and other things like that. But just an article just saying it may not be over, worst may not be over, and it might not. Might still keep going down. Never know. Things that could possibly affect that. Applied Materials was today. That already happened. So let's see what happened on that. After hours down. So probably not good. Weak forecast as chip shortages persist. So there you go on that. So that's not necessarily all their fault. Because they don't make the chips themselves. So, what can you do about that? Next week, Intuit, they make QuickBooks and other software, Snowflake, NVIDIA, Costco, and Salesforce all coming up before the end of the month. And so hopefully some of them, if not all of them, have good news. Let's check out the rest of the planet. Everything down in Europe, almost everything down in Asia. Currencies, euros up on the dollar, Japanese yen up on the dollar, British pound up on the dollar, Canadian dollar up on the US dollar, Sorry. And the Australian dollar might completing a clean sweep over the United States dollar. More shrimps on the barbie. Let's see if crypto came up today after being down yesterday, but yeah. And of course that keeps trade, as you just saw the numbers change on there, that keeps trading 24 hours a day. Based, I'm assuming, on 12 midnight Eastern time. I'm assuming that's what it's based on, and then that goes based on that. So like Ethereum is 4.98% up on the 12 midnight AM number early this morning, and then it'll change that midnight to night. All right, let's see, what else did we... Oh, we didn't do most followed single stocks on the Google. The only one up is Amazon, 0.19%. Everything else down 0.05%. That's rare to see such a small change up or down on the Tesla. Looks like most down is Apple, 2.46%. Alright, we did that one. Matty Bags, what up? From New York Post, nypost.com. Washington State gas stations run out of fuel, prep for $10 a gallon. Now, what was not in the headline yesterday was that they ran out of fuel. What was in there yesterday is that they prepped for $10 a gallon by changing their software so that it would show $10 a gallon. As you can see there, it's not built for this particular sign right here, not built for that. So they would have had to change the software so that it would display a different thing. Let's not do that. Let's just get rid of the page. From CNBC, new bipartisan bill would force Google to break up its ad business. New bipartisan proposal takes aim at Google and would force it to break up its digital advertising business if passed. Competition and Transparency in Digital Advertising Act was introduced Thursday by a group of key senators on the Judiciary Committee on Antitrust. The coalition behind the bill underscores the way support for reigning. Sorry about that. Reigning. I was like, what the heck number? Is that even spelled right? Yeah, I guess that. For reigning in tech power through antitrust reform cuts across ideological lines. Oh, looks like Google is up in the after hours trading. Let's see if that updated automatically. Yeah. So Google is up 0.2% in after hours trading. Let's see. What are their problems with Google being a big company? Boom. Antitrust, and you got some R's and some D's over here that support that bill. Bill would ban companies that process more than $20 billion annually in digital ad transactions from making that much money. No, from participating in more than one part of the digital ad process. Okay, so I guess that keeps them from being a monopoly somehow. If they can't do more than one process of it, part of it. See, Google infamously has a hand in multiple steps of the digital ad process. Why wouldn't you? A business that has become the focus of a state-led antitrust lawsuit against the company. Google runs an auction or exchange where ad transactions are made and also run tools to help companies sell and buy ads. If new legislation passed, it would have to choose in which part of the business it would want to remain. When you have Google simultaneously serving as a seller and a buyer and running an exchange, that gives them unfair, undue advantage in the marketplace, one that doesn't necessarily reflect the value they are providing, Lee told the Journal in her interview. When a company can wear all these hats simultaneously, it can engage in conduct that harms everyone. And we're mad because we didn't think of it and do it ourselves. I added that part. This is just a little commentary on there. I don't know anything about it. I can't. Don't take that with a grain of salt. Just make a little joke. This is not a replay, Milka. Aftershow is live even after a replay, and so you can look forward to that possibly for the next week or so until next Thursday maybe, when they are back from Florida, if they even come back. Maybe they would stay late a couple extra days to have a little vacation afterwards. Who knows what they're going to do. I wouldn't imagine Dave would run back to work for just Thursday's show. So maybe he wouldn't come back, but maybe some other of the personalities will be available. This from the Wall Street Journal, the paper of record, not necessarily the website of record, but it's WSJ.com. More subprime borrowers are missing loan payments. Borrowers with limited or troubled credit histories are defaulting on credit cards, car loans, and personal loans. And that is a shocker. Borrowers with limited or troubled credit histories, definitely give them more credit. Definitely let them borrow more money. Definitely. Let's see. Oh, we can't read anything of this part. Let's see if it has anything interesting. Consumers with low credit scores are falling behind on payments for car loans, personal loans, and credit cards. Sign that the healthiest consumer lending environment on record in the U.S. is coming to an end. Yeah, because of the stimulus package, part of which happened during the Trump administration, and part of which happened during the Biden administration. In addition to that, and I guess people being worried about what was going to happen. People hung on to cash and stuff like that, and were better with paying bills on time, and so I guess that's over. Let's see, the share of subprime credit cards and personal loans that are at least 60 days late is rising faster than normal, according to credit reporting firm Equifax Inc. In March, those delinquencies rose month over month for the 8th time in a row, nearing their pre-pandemic level. All right. So, but not a shocker. You know, when you insist on giving money to people who have proven that they cannot manage it, like Congress. Oh! Slam. It's not going to work out well. Let's see, New York Times, NY Times again. Had to go back over 55 and not retired after all, after leaving the labor force. In unusual numbers early in the pandy, Americans approaching retirement age are back at the jobs at previous levels. Let's see, Kim Williams, 62, lost her job. Not decided, I guess, early in the pandy, but has recently gone back to work. I'm too young to retire, so I had to go back. Yep. When Kim Williams and millions of other older Americans lost their jobs early in the pandy, economists wondered how many would ever work again and how that loss would weigh on the economy for years to come. Ms. Williams, now 62, wondered too, especially when she struggled for months to find work. But in January, she started a new job at a AAA office near her home in Waterbury, Connecticut. I'm too young to retire, so I had to go back. Whether by choice or by financial necessity, millions of older Americans have made the same move in recent months. Nearly 64% of adults between the ages of 55 and 64 were working in April, essentially the same rate as February 2020. And that's a more complete recovery than among most younger age groups. All right, there's a nice graph for AJ and Troy's story. They like the graphs. Notice I didn't talk about it at all, but they still like them. The rapid rebound has surprised many economists who thought that fear of the virus, which is far deadlier for older people, would contribute to a wave of early retirements. Well, it did, but now they're coming back, especially because many people's savings had been fattened by years of market gains. But there's increasing evidence that the early retirement narrative was overblown. The bottom line is that older workers have gone back to work, said Alicia Munnell, director of the Center for Retirement Research at Boston College, where you park the car in Harvard Yard. For many people, retiring early was never an option, as we spent more than 25 years in manufacturing, working for a Hershey's plant, making Almond Joy and Mounds bars. Not my favorite, but, you know, sugar. The job paid reasonably well and offered a retirement plan and other benefits, but in 2007, Hershey's closed the factory, moving production partly to Mexico. Then in her 40s, she went back to school, earning an associate degree in hospitality and eventually finding a job as a supervisor at a local hotel. Paid significantly less than Hershey's, and she drew down her retirement savings to cover medical expenses and other bills. That's unfortunate. When she was laid off again in June 2020, just a few weeks after her 60th birthday, had little in saving, tried to change careers again this time, but she's been unable to find work in a new field. In January, with her savings gone, she took a job at AAA for $16.50 an hour. Okay, so she didn't decide to retire or decide to leave the workforce. She got laid off. So she's not really one of those that retired and came back. So bad example for the story, but you know, I'm not the editor. This from CNBC.com, the Make It section. Next Generation Investing. This is a story from Field Reporter in the Bayou. Sid sent this in. The IRS may be missing out on $50 billion a year in unpaid crypto taxes. And a crackdown is underway. I feel like Dr. Evil would definitely have a lot in crypto, I believe. Yep, crackdown is underway. Yep, regulation, it's coming. The kids love it because there's like no regulation pretty much on the cryptocurrency. The kids love it. Let's see if they still love it after the government do take a bite out of it. The Internal Revenue Service may be missing out on more than $50 billion a year from crypto traders not paying their taxes, and the agency is taking notice. A new analysis released by Barclays last week, Managing Director Joseph Abate estimated the tax gap from crypto trades, the difference between how much tax revenue the IRS collects and how much is owed, maybe as much as $50 billion per year. Barclays made its calculation by extrapolating, good word, data referenced by the IRS in 2017 to estimate that the current crypto tax gap represents a full 10% of the overall national tax gap. However, the gap is likely much larger. That's because much of the DeFi activity occurring today did not exist 4 years ago. DeFi, which stands for Decentralized Finance, aims to recreate traditional finance systems such as banks and exchanges with cryptocurrency. Most run on the Ethereum blockchain. While all transactions may be visible on the blockchains, if all the counterparties are anonymous, it's difficult for the IRS to figure out who owes taxes. Without any supporting IRS data, our sense is that the $50 billion estimate for the crypto tax gap is probably too small. Alrighty, and let's also say again that millennials have more in crypto in their retirement than they do stocks or mutual funds. And so what the IRS can do is, I guess they can charge all that to the brokerage or the exchange that people are buying it, and then make the exchange tax the individual transactions. Let's see. Mark Cuban supports the $10,000 student loan debt proposal. It has to be fixed. All right, Mark. I'd love to hear Mark's additional items on it. Does he say anything else about it? Because as we all know, like Dave says, it's intellectually dishonest to forgive any of it while you continue to make it. You're not fixing it. Like I said, it has to be fixed. Let's see what he says. He supports it. 10,000 per borrower. We don't want this being a perennial problem. It has to be fixed. As far as how much should be forgiven, he's good with the Biden proposal. Let's see. Mounting student debt was hurting the U.S. economy by stifling the spending power of recent college graduates, and that reducing some of that debt burden could inspire people to spend more. So he just wants them to buy his products with that money instead of paying it for student loans. So let's see. That's the same money that when you graduated you used to move out of the house, or you went out and spent money that improved the economy and helped companies grow. In the United States, we don't pay for that, though. We don't do that. At least not yet. Let's see. Let's help chip away at it, and that's not going to do any good. That's it. Anytime you try to do a half measure on something, just like the healthcare stuff. I mean, a couple people got healthcare that didn't have it before. Not a significant number. And then 1/8 of the U.S. economy, which is healthcare, is now under government auspices. So, and that didn't work. And it's only gone, and it hasn't come down. Like prices for everybody hasn't come down. It's just gone up. Even before the pandy. All right, let's see. Let's see. Last month, Biden administration said it would make a decision before the latest freeze on student debt payments expires August 31st. Biden hasn't recently indicated whether he'll hew to the number in his campaign promise or not. All right. It's not out of the realm of possibility to think that the student loan, the forbearance and stuff will be kicked down the road until the election, so that they can say, well, we made it so you didn't have to pay your student loans for all this time. So they can use that as a campaign issue. Of course, the other side will use that campaign issue, that same campaign issue, the exact one, against them as well. So we'll see what happens on that. Debate is personal for Cuban. No strangers student loans publicly reminisced about sleeping on the floor of $600 a month Dallas apartment he shared with 5 other roommates to save money. He signed for the loans, dog. Let's see. Blames the exorbitant cost of tuition, which is partly because of these student loans being guaranteed by the government. Let's see. So what? Go to a school you can afford. A community college that offers transferable credits is always smart, he tweeted in 2019. Absolutely. He has even argued against completely wiping out all student debt, asserting that such a move would just allow universities to continue hiking their tuition. All it does is bail out the university. Capping the maximum amount of private loans per student at $10,000 per year. Yep. Would force schools to lower their tuition and cost to maintain enrollment. Absolutely. Okay, so I mean, I'm down with him as far as that part. Let's see, 28-year-old retired with $2.25 million. All right, they got me to click on it. Let's see, don't need any of the rest of them probably. When stocks are down, don't watch the market closely. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I probably watch it too much. This 30th, and of course, I talk about it on the show every day, so. 33-year-old left the U.S. for Bali and lives a life of luxury on $2,233 a month. Problem when you live in those countries like that, a lot of times local governments hanging on by a thread, so you never know what could happen with that. Let's see what's up with this. Also from the CNBC, make it. 28-year-old who retired with $2.25 million shares the secret to saving. And what is that? Don't spend money. Let's see. After 7 years of working in the corporate world, one New York City-based 20-something had a nest egg big enough to retire early. Excellent. So maybe this person could help John out trying to retire in 10 years. We'll see. When she was only 12, she picked up a copy of personal finance classic, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which sparked her interest in saving and investing. When she realized she could save big by finishing college in 3 years, she jumped on the opportunity. Graduating a year early really helped financially. Helped save me a year of tuition and gave me a year's worth of extra income. And between the two things, that's a $150,000 net worth swing. Okay. After 7 years of stashing more than 70% of her income, she built a nest egg of $2.25 million. 40% of which came from investing and 60% came from saving. It was enough for her to quit and settle down at age 28. Fun. They live off a modest $65K a year, which allows them to maintain a high saving rate. Oh, I guess I should have read this. I thought this was just like a lot of times the bold stuff is just like an aside. But after graduating, she took a job at an investment firm where the starting pay was $60K plus end-of-year bonus. That was almost the same amount. So the total was $100,000 a year. So that can help. And so received several raises in the years following, and she was making mid six figures. So that would be $500,000 that she was making at the end there. And stashing more than 70% of income. So that means she was living on 30% of your income. So yeah. So I'm sure Dave would be down with all of that. I mean, it doesn't say like what she invested in, but you know, as long as you invest in what Dave recommends, I don't think he would have any problem with you doing all of that. And this is basically his old deal. You have to live on less than you make, and living on 30% of your income can definitely help. All right. Okay, so let's see. I already sorted by new, I think. Let's do it again in case there's a new one. All right, Ramsey's your discussion. Ramsey's all hammer the patient in charge, followed by a rant about hope stealers were really stupid, classically conservative. Okay, well, this is where where you can talk about their stuff. They make these threads specifically for this. Non-baby steps. I am never not happy for people to succeed in their financial journey. Excellent. Does anyone cringe at some of the more cult-like disciples who do the debt-free scream? No, I don't. People can get excited about their stuff. People, why not? Why can't they get excited about it? Why can't they be into it? Just because you don't like Dave's advice doesn't mean that other people can't like it and be successful with it. Everybody can be successful with it if they try it, even if they don't like it, even if they don't think that it's for everyone, that it's one size fits all. It can be. Everybody can do this, even the people that think they're too smart. Oh, I don't need to take some hillbilly's advice. I can figure out ways to beat the bank myself. I can do this different and I can do that different. You don't need to do that. You could do even very smart people could do Dave's advice completely and be very successful with it. He's the only one out there that has his kind of track record and his kind of documented evidence for people succeeding with his plan. None of these other things, these debt leverage things, they don't have the track record. Let's see. I need someone to tell me if I'm being generous or stupid. This is Chicken Dragon 123. This is probably going to be a long one. That's what she said. Usually I call Dave on the show and try to get some advice, but I have friends and family. I don't want identifying that I'm possibly doing this. Let's say 26, make about $45K a year, total net worth of $60,000, emergency fund of $25,000. Okay, about $12,000 in retirement between Roth and 401K, $7,000 in cash earmarked for a house payment in a few years. You mean a down payment? The rest is in assets that are very illiquid or things I need. I put about 40% of my income into savings or retirement every paycheck, or about $800 a month. Okay. Problem is, I have a friend mid-40s who has some pretty severe medical issues that got worse and meant he isn't able to drive a car anymore. In order to keep his independence, he decided to buy a moped. The idea being that if he gets in a wreck, he isn't killing anyone other than himself. This moped cost him about $5,000, which he took on credit. I don't think this was a wise move on his part, but I've been in a similar situation in the past and don't see a better solution for me. In the past, he's given me a blurry view into his finances, and while buying the moped isn't close to sinking him financially, the ship is leaking, of course. That's what debt payments do. They make it leak, and that's why when you invest at the same time, you're trying to fill a bucket that has a hole in it. Last year, my grandmother gave me $6,000 towards whatever I want to use it for as thanks for being there for her the last few years. had to use about $4,000 fixing my car, but it's now in a good enough place where I'm not concerned about it at the moment. That leaves $2,000 left over. As I mentioned earlier, I'm saving for a house, down payment confirmed. But that is largely an eventual thing, in no rush, young and single, okay, have no family to care for. In the past, my church put $2,000 in to send me to Mayo Clinic for medical treatment, kept me from going into debt. Now I'm wondering if I should pass it on. If I give him the $2,000, I trust that it will go towards either his medical treatment or a payment on the moped. You can do that. He may not put it towards his medical treatment or payment on the moped, though. So that's up to you whether you want to take that chance or not. He may not put it there. If you give him that, he may spend it on something else. Who knows? You could say you'll go with him to make a payment somewhere, either at a medical facility, maybe wherever he owes the medical money. You could go with him to there and make the payment for him, all in it. If you want to be sure, you could do that. Not sure you should. Well, you'd have to decide on that. I mean, I think paying that $2,000, since it's exactly the amount that your church has given you in the past, it's the exact amount. You probably should pay that forward somehow in the best way you can. So maybe it's giving it back to your church instead of helping out this guy. So to be clear, he hasn't asked for anything. Also, not sure he would accept a gift if I offered. If he had asked, I probably would have said no. But I'm aware of where he's at. Yeah, I mean, it's not stupid. No, like you said, just the amount being exactly the same as you were previously given. If you believe in signs, you believe in God, if you believe in anything like that, that would certainly get me thinking about it as I try to line myself up on the camera again. There we are. So we're good. So let's see. Or am I more concerned about peering to him like a friend than actually being one? You're gonna have to make these choices. We don't know the idea at the moment. I'm thinking about shelving the idea for a few months while he figures out if the moped is a good idea, then offering if he keeps it. But at the same time, a little generosity might help stop the rapidly falling dominoes. Yeah, I would decide what to do with that money. It sounds like you do want to give it away, that you do want to donate it to some worthy cause, and so probably, unless you can think of something better, either give it back to your church, the $2,000, or give it to dude. Excuse me. Drinking just some water today. Let's see. That one we already did, but guess what I did? I went ahead and scrolled way down, so we're at 4 months ago. Let's see. Generally interested, enjoy frequent scallion, 32. I enjoy watching the Ramsey show because of the entertainment value, and I think it's very interesting to hear other people's stories. I've been a fan for years now. However, I think it's widely agreed his advice is not optimal for building wealth. Well, it doesn't. The advice he gives is cookie cutter and uniform. Why can't thing be? And that's not how you spell cutter. That's cookie cuter. Why can't it be cookie cutter if it would work for everyone? It would work for you if you did it. He just doesn't do, and regardless of individual's unique situation, you're not the exception. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to, and the only way it's they think it's suboptimal is because he doesn't do debt leverage, which means you get stuff on credit and you make money that way, when that's called debt leverage, and you take out a business loan or buy something to resell or something like that on credit. That is debt leverage. And so that's using debt to try to make money. and that oftentimes does not work out well. So, and if I mean, you can do what you want, but then why be mad about it? Why be wondering about it? Why be wondering about why other people like it and that it works for them? I don't get that. And why go into a show's chat where the owner of the chat doesn't like debt leverage, and his advice is not to do debt leverage, and you come in there and talk about debt leverage? That not only disrespect, but it's also kind of like going into an AA meeting and talking about, it's okay to have a beer every once in a while. That's the same thing of, it's okay to have a credit card if you pay it off every month. Yeah, until you can't pay it off for some reason, until you have some kind of emergency and then you can't pay it off, or if you buy a little bit too much stuff and then you can't pay it off. And then that's a problem. And so that would be the same thing as somebody in AA, because they can't have just one drink. If they could, they likely would not be at that meeting. All right, this is from Hong Hong. Not sure what to do next. In baby step 2, we had a clear goal that immediately after that we focused on saving for a wedding, honeymoon, and eventually his house. The wedding and honeymoon are now behind us. We have $250K in savings. Currently live in LA and don't plan to buy a house here. We move back to the East Coast in 1 to 2 years. Question is, what do I need to do next? Well, you'll be renting, right? We put 15% into retirement. Come on. I think we have enough for 20% down on a house where we plan to move to back in the South. Okay, good. East Coast doesn't mean New York City. We do plan to eventually have kids. Should I start putting money into 529s? No, not until kids are actually around. I've always thought we would start after we had kids. Is it smart to keep? 18 years is plenty of time. Is it smart to keep saving cash because of rising home prices? Should we start putting money into index funds? Currently, everything's a high yield savings account where we're getting around $1,200 per year in interest. Any other ideas? I'm assuming your retirement is not in the your retirement's not in a high yield savings account, hopefully. But yeah, you don't do that for kids. The only way that I would possibly suggest that, and no, actually I wouldn't. Until there are kids, don't do that. Now, I was gonna say is if you had some other like you might possibly use it for education, or you might have another family member like nieces, nephews that you could transfer it to. But I wouldn't even do that because I would do your step 6 first before doing somebody else's step 5. So I probably would not do that. I would wait for yourself to have kids first. Well, let's do one more. Come on. This work computer not the best. Oh, page unresponsive. Exit pages. Oh, so it is completely. Reddit was down earlier today. Let's see. Can I do a reload on that? No, can't. All right, well, we'll call it a close enough to the end of the hour. Once again, I'm Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. I do not work for Dave. And the guy laughed like that too in that call. It was a really weird call. He sounds like, I don't know if he could have been high maybe. I don't know. He could have been just nervous though. But anyway, it didn't sound like he had his stuff together to be a financial coach. Just my opinion. Links are at the top of the chat and the bottom, the video description below. Also on the right side of my YouTube banner. And you can click that free coaching link. And you can pick your date. And then your time that you want that appointment. And Calendly will let me know when you'd like that appointment. And I will email you back letting you know what information I need in order to accurately financially assess you. PayPal is paypal.me/CoachSteveMoney. And you can support the show and the YouTube channel financially via that. PayPal.me/CoachSteveMoney. Instagram is Coach Steve Money, no spaces, and email is CoachSteveMoney@gmail.com. And you can email me about anything on my channel. Let's see if we got another subscriber. Yeah, we did not, but we didn't lose any, so that's the important thing. Oh, I didn't say upcoming streams. Don't want to play some video games tonight. Wednesdays and Saturdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, are the scheduled old man video gaming, and I did do one last night. I might play some more Last of Us tonight. We'll see how it goes. I might. This show, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, the Ramsey Show Aftershow show. Mondays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, tech support with Coach Steve Money. Do the same thing I just did on the Ramsey subreddit. I do that on the tech support subreddit as well. And there is another Curse of Oak Island companion show that aired on Tuesday that I need to recap, and that may be it for the year because the regular season has been over for like 2 weeks of that, and so this might be the last companion show before it gets closer to the start of the new season, which new season normally happens in late October, early November. So, but yeah, you can email me about anything if you'd like to sing the Baby Step song. That'd be great. You can talk to me about Oak Island, about Ramsey stuff, financial stuff, video gaming, computer stuff, and songs that I've written, including if you would like to sing any of those, you can send me a recording of those, or we can work it out so you can do it live. We have that technology. Alrighty. Thanks so much for